ॐ शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। Namaste. We will see the meanings of the namas of Shri Vishnu Sahasranama based on Shri Shankaracharya commentary, verse 46. First, we will now see the verse. Vistarasthavarasthanuhu pramanam bijamavyayam artho nartho mahakosho mahabhogo mahadhanaha. The namas herein are Vistaraha, Sthavarasthanuhu, Pramanam, Bijamavyayam, Arthaha, Anarthaha, Mahakoshaha, Mahabhogaha, Mahadhanaha. So there are 9 namas. We will now see the meanings of each of these one by one. The first nama is Vistaraha. Vistiryante samastani jaganti asminniti. Jagantyasminniti. The one in whom all the worlds expand. So Vistara means to expand. So here in this context, it has been interpreted as the substratum of expansion. It is known that the worlds keep expanding, and the source of the expansion, the foundation, the basis, the substratum based on which the expansion is happening. So that is the Sarvavyapi Paramatman. And so being the substratum of expansion, he is denoted or glorified by the term Vistaraha. The next term is Sthavarasthanuhu. Sthitishīlatvat Sthavaraha. Sthitishīlāni prithivādīni tishthanthyasminniti sthanuhu. Sthavarashchāsau sthanuscheti. The one who is stable, Sthavaraha, the one who is stable, and also the substratum of earth, etc., which in turn are stable. So here we see two components of this nama, Sthavarasthanuhu. So first, Sthavara is presented as stable, Sthitishila, of an eternally unchanging nature. In the pure conscious form, he is eternally unchanging, hence Sthavara, the Paramatman. And he is also Sthanu. Sthanu is interpreted as Tishtanti Asmin iti Sthanuhu, the substratum in which the various lokas, the various worlds like earth, etc. exist. So Sthavara, he, the Paramatman, the Lord Narayana, is unchanging, and Sthanu is the substratum of the relatively unchanging worlds. So the Srishti happens, and then for some time the Srishti exists in the form of Prithvi, Antariksha, and the heaven. So the earth, the atmosphere, the heaven, all these are also relatively stable. And for these relatively stable worlds, who is the substratum? Who is the Sthanu? The Paramatman. So he himself being Sthavara, unchanging. He is the sthanu, he is the substratum of the worlds. So that is indicated by the term sthavarasthanuhu, the unchanging substratum of the entire creation. The next nama is pramanam, samvidatmana pramanam. Being of the nature of clear knowledge, he is also the instrument of valid knowledge. So normally the term pramanam means pramakaranam, the instrument of valid knowledge. So what is the outcome? What is the outcome of utilization of instrument of valid knowledge? It is samvit, clear knowledge. So by the term pramana, which is normally used to denote modes of valid knowledge, like inference, direct perception, uh, verbal testimony, etc. So these are the instruments of valid knowledge. And what is attained through these instruments of valid knowledge? Valid knowledge, the clear, doubtless, unambiguous knowledge. And that is indicated by the word samvit. So by the nature of being pure, clear, valid knowledge, the Paramatman is indicated through the term that denotes the instruments of valid knowledge. Hence, the instrument and also the end, both are the Paramatman. So, the modes of valid knowledge like direct perception, inference, and agama or verbal testimony, they are also Paramatman, Pramanam, and also the samvit, the clear knowledge, the pure conscious nature that emerges through the utilization of these instruments in as prescribed by the Shastras. So that outcome is also Paramatman. So this is indicated by the term Pramanam. The next term is Bijam Avyayam. अन्यथाभावव्यतिरेकेण कारणमिति सविशेषणमेकं नाम. The one who is the unaltered cause. This is one nama with an adjective. So here at the outset, Acharya clarifies that Bijam Avyayam. So though these are two independent valid grammatical forms, but still they both of them contribute to one nama. They are to be considered as one nama. So what is the meaning? Anyatha bhava vyatirekena. So the term avyayam and bijam exist, and the term avyayam is explained as anyatha bhava vyatirekena. So avyayam means that which does not become otherwise. That is anyatha bhava vyatireka. Anyatha bhava means becoming otherwise. Vyatireka means without. So without becoming otherwise. So that is avyayam, which means changeless. So avyayam. So this is the adjective. What does this qualify? Bijam. So the changeless bijam. Bijam is described as karanam. So the changeless, unaltered cause of all that exists in this universe. So that is indicated by the term bijam avyayam. The next term is arthaha. Sukharupatvat sarvairarthyata iti. Being of the nature of happiness and bliss, the one who is sought by everyone. So the term arthaha, it is derived as arthyate iti arthaha, the one who is sought. So arthyate iti artha. Wealth is also normally indicated as artha because everyone seek it. Similarly, Paramatman is also sought. By whom? Sarvaihi. Everyone. The one who is sought by everyone. Why do they seek Paramatman? Why do everyone want to visualize or realize the form and nature of Paramatman? Sukha Rupatvat. Because he is of the nature of pure, unalloyed happiness and bliss. Hence, Arthaha refers to the Paramatman who is sought after by everyone to attain great, pure bliss. The next term is Anarthaha. न विद्यते प्रयोजनम् आप्तकामत्वादस्येति. The one who does not have any purpose for himself, having attained all that is desired. So here the term anarthaha, na arthaha, asya vidyate means here the term arthaha means prayojanam. There are various meanings to the term artha given in the Shastras. Artho bhideya rai vastu prayojana nivrittishu. In Amarakosha, a lexicon in Sanskrita, so many meanings are given. Artha means object, artha means wealth, artha means prayojanam, purpose. So many meanings are there. Previously, we saw the meaning arthyate iti arthaha, that which is sought, the one who is sought. So it may be an object, or it may be a resource, or it may be a thing. So in that sense, the term artha was explained previously. Here, the meaning prayojanam or the purpose is the meaning of the term artha. So na vidyate prayojanam asya, the one who has no purpose to be achieved or accomplished for his own self, because apta kamatvat, he does not have any desire left. So previously also we saw that the Paramatman is viraga, virakta means the one who is free from all desires, or who is always in the state of contentment. So because he has attained everything, or because he is content with everything that is possessed, so he does not have any desire, and so na prayojanam na artha, for his own self he does nothing. So in Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana na anavaptam avaptavyam varta eva cha karmani. O Partha, O Arjuna, there is nothing for me to be done here, because by doing something I'm not going to achieve anything for myself, but still I do my karma, I do my actions, because the Lord, who is the creator, sustainer, and who takes care of the entire universe, if he stops acting, then performing actions, then what will others do who look up to the Bhagavan? So I, as a role model, I have to perform my actions even though I don't have any goals for myself to be achieved. So an ideal way, a role model uh, is described through the acts of Bhagavan in this manner, and that idea is reminded by the term anarthaha. The next term is mahakoshaha. Mahantaha koshaha annamayadayaha achadakaha asyeti. The one who is wheeled by the great sheets like Annamaya and so on. So Mahakosha means kosha means sheaths. Sheaths, uh, just like the sheath or a protection, a protective pouch into which a sword is kept. So that is called as kosha or a sheath. and Mahakosha, great sheath. Now, what is the Mahakosha here? So, who is there inside that Mahakosha? So, that is described through this Nama. So, Mahantaha Koshaha Annamayadayaha. So, in the Taittiriya Upanishad, we see Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya layers are there. These sheets are there. In human existence, the outermost layer is made up of Anna, food which is nourished, which is developed by Anna. Then the subtler layer of human existence is made up of Prana, and then the layer of manas, and then the layer of vijnana, and finally the layer of ananda exists. So these are the various layers in which by which the pure consciousness is covered. So these layers that wheel that pure consciousness, these are not any normal wheels or any normal sheets that cover anything, a worldly object. So these are great wheels, Mahakosha, because they cover the ultimate truth, that is the pure consciousness. So the idea here is gradually one has to transcend these outer grosser sheets and slowly travel towards the innermost core pure consciousness, which is called as Mahakosha, means the one that is covered by the great koshas. The eighth nama is Mahabhogaha. Mahan Bhogaha Sukharupaha Asyeti. The one who has great experience always in the form of bliss. So in the pure conscious, so the term here is Mahabhoga. So bhoga means experience. Maha is great. So for a person, for an entity, so who is always established in the pure conscious nature, not being distracted by the external disturbances that are caused by in the external layers of Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, which was just described in the previous thing, who is always abiding in his pure conscious nature, he is always happy because his experience of his pure consciousness, conscious nature is not going to be interrupted because the consciousness as such is unchanging. Whereas the food, the manas, the intellect, the prana, all these are bound to change. Hence, they are just bhogas because sometimes they give good experience and sometimes there is not so happy experience because of the fluctuating, changing nature of the external layers. But the innermost layer, that is our pure conscious nature, that will not change. Avyayam, which was just described. So, because of its unchanging, eternally pure form, the experience is always great. Mahabhoga, pure, unalloyed, uninterrupted bliss. And the Paramatman, Lord Narayana, exists in such a experience. That's why he said, Nidra Mudram Nikhila Jagati Rakshane Jagarukam. So he is always in a Yoga Nidra. So this is the form of Yoga Nidra, being purely established in the form of his conscious unchanging nature. That is Mahabhogaha. The ninth nama is Mahadhanaha. Mahat Bhogasadhanam Dhanalakshanam Asyeti. The one to whom belongs wealth, a great instrument of happiness. So Mahadhana, these are the two components. So Dhana is wealth, and Maha, Mahat, great. So Mahat, Bhoga Sadhanam. So Dhanam or wealth is the source for happiness and enjoyment. So the one who has this wealth in plenty, so the one who possesses this wealth in plenty, so he is Mahadhanaha Bhagavan Narayana. Of course, Bhagavan is described as, just in the previous Nama, as the one who is established in his pure conscious nature. But it is also true that even for attaining worldly welfare and well-being, one has to seek out the Lord. That's why in the Gita we see Artaha, Jignasuhu, Artharthi, Jnanicha. So the one who is desirous of attaining the knowledge of the universe, the one who is a jnani already, and the one who seeks wealth, and then the one who wants to overcome afflictions. So who is the one to be sought out? So it is Paramatman, because as he is Mahakosha, he is also Mahadhana. We see in the Bhagavata Purana that Sudhama just meets and greets Bhagavan Narayana, Shri Krishna, and that mere meeting and greeting itself results in great welfare and great well-being for Sudhama. And hence, Krishna also says, Udaraha sarvayevaite. So whoever may be afflicted through some physical ailment or any difficulties, or people in difficulty with regarding money, so all these, if they turn towards the Lord, still they are good, still they are devotees, though their purpose may be worldly, still as they seek out the help from the divinity, they are udaras only. Being the devotees, they are great only, and they are pious and noble only. Hence, so Paramatman here is also worshipped as the source of great material wealth, and through that happiness also. So with these 9 namas in verse 46, we have thus far completed 434 namas. Om Tat Sat, Shri Krishnarpanamastu.